Hey, good morning. Coming to you with another Monday moment. I just want to speak prophetically as to what I first thought was just kind of taking place here at Restored Church, but I believe the Lord is showing me that it's happening in the church, the broader church. Last week, I just sensed the Lord leading me to Hebrews chapter 12. And it says in verse 25, see to it that you don't refuse him who is speaking, for if those did not escape when they refused him who warned them on earth, much less will we escape who turn away from him who warns us from heaven. And his voice shook the earth then, but now he's promised, saying, yet once more I'll shake not only the earth, but also heaven. This expression, yet once more, denotes the removing of those things which can be shaken as of created things, so that those things which cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, since we're receiving a kingdom which cannot be shaken, let's show gratitude by which we may offer to God an acceptable service with reverence, and offer our gods a consuming fire. And I just shared with our staff and some of our leadership that the shaking that we are experiencing going on is twofold. It's to remove what can be shaken, and it's to establish what cannot be shaken. And as I was praying this morning, I just sensed the Lord speaking to me for the broader church at large. Out of John chapter 15, says, I'm the true vine, my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that doesn't bear fruit, he takes away. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes so that it may bear more fruit. And the Lord just kind of spoke to me as to how we are entering a season of pruning. And I don't believe this is just for Restored Church. I believe this is for the greater church, that we're entering into a season of pruning. And if we reject his pruning, we risk his taking, his removing. And we're seeing it. And we know, what's it, 1 Peter 4:17, I believe it is, it says that judgment begins with the house of God. And there's a pruning going on. And you might say, well, why would he prune us? We're bearing fruit. Well, he prunes those that are bearing fruit so that they may bear more fruit. And I think the false contentment is that, hey, we're doing fine. Everything's going well. We're bearing fruit. We're seeing lives saved and his spirit poured out, as if that somehow exempts us from any pruning at all. And consistent with scripture is that he prunes those that are bearing fruit. He's not pruning those that aren't bearing fruit. He prunes those that are bearing fruit so that they may bear more fruit. How many times do you see in this whole discourse from verse 1 to verse 11, remain in me, abide in me, remain in me, abide in me. And I think that's going to be the benchmark. That's going to be what determines longevity in ministry. You cannot reject the pruning shears. You need to welcome them. You need to welcome God's scrutiny, just like David did at the end of Psalm 139. Try me, see if there's any wicked way in me. I believe the New Living Translation says, point out anything in me that offends you, oh God. And so I believe that you need to embrace this season of pruning that we're all in. And it's come so that those things which can be shaken would be removed, so that which cannot be shaken would be established. I want to encourage you with this, praying and believing that this helps make more sense of the season that you're in and what you could very well be going through. And I just call you blessed, and till we meet again, see you soon.